Let's talk about how to create a buyer persona. Make sure you stay until the very end where I share the most important step. And before I get started, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell. That way you'll be the first to see my next money-making video. What is a buyer persona? A buyer persona is a made-up character that represents your ideal customer or target audience. When you know exactly who you're marketing to, producing effective and targeted content that addresses your buyer's objectives and challenges is a lot easier. A buyer persona is like a personal narrative. You're creating a story for the people who are most likely going to buy your products or services. You want to learn everything there is to know about them so you can provide customized service, relevant information, and helpful sales advice. The buyer personas are the ideal location to put all of this information into a narrative that you and the rest of your team can resonate with. Step number 1, research. A little bit of research is necessary in order to create a great persona. Even if you feel like you already have a decent handle on who your customers are, it's worth taking a close look at everyone you're currently working with, as well as those ideal customers you'd like to work with in the future. Who are your current customers? Your research should always start with examining the customers that you already have. Consider the following questions. Where do they work? What is their job position? Do they work for a superior or are they in charge? What does life at home look like for them? Do they have any hobbies? If so, what are they? What is their age? What is their marital status? Do they have kids? In addition to those questions, you'll also want to consider the following tactics. Talk to your employees that deal with customers the most. Because your account managers are in direct contact with your clients, they'll have the most knowledge about their lives. Get in touch with these employees at your company to get a better idea of the kind of customers your business is already serving. Get in touch with your clients. It's also an excellent idea to chat with some of your existing clients if it's possible. Try sending out a brief questionnaire to your current and past customers to find out more about them. You may need to offer a little incentive to get them to fill it out, but their insights will be priceless. Remember that the individuals who have previously bought your services or products are, in fact, your ideal customers. Who do you want to sell to in the future? Consider who you'd want to sell services or products to in the future once you've gathered as much information as possible on your current customers. Are you having trouble converting a specific type of customer? Maybe you're tired of being outperformed by your competition in a certain market sector. I recommend to start looking at your competition to narrow down who you'd like to sell to. Where are your competitors the most successful? Is there a particular sector of the market that you'd want to break into where your competitors are seeing a lot of success? Take a look at their webpage. They'll most likely be creating content and sales offers that are tailored to that market. See how your competition is succeeding to learn more about those buyer personas you want to cater to. Take a look at your own analytics. You won't discover more solid, more concrete data on your ideal consumers than by tracking them using analytics on your own website, pay-per-click campaigns, and social media advertising. Study each report and see how many people are clicking on your advertisements. Pay close attention to the demographics of those who click on your ads. Look at the pages your visitors view the most and the longest when examining your website analytics. What free content is being downloaded the most and who is downloading it? Finding answers to these questions will provide you with important information and data that you can use to create valuable, successful buyer personas. Step number 2, group your buyer personas. It's time to organize all of the data you've found. Take a look at your research and figure out the similar goals and problems that your customers have. Clients and prospects value your company or product in similar ways, which will allow you to distinguish all of the various potential customers into different buyer personas. How many buyer personas will you have? Now that you've collected and organized your data, you may begin to figure out how many buyer personas you'll create. It's also worth noting that you don't need to cover everyone right now. If you're new to buyer personas and the inbound marketing process as a whole, it may be better to start with buyer personas just for the market segments where you sell the most. You can always incorporate or modify buyer personas as you learn more about your marketing plan and collect more information on your leads and prospects. You have complete control over how you break down your buyer personas. Step number 3, create a name and a backstory for your buyer persona. You can start by creating a complete story about your buyer persona and then select the most significant segments for the final persona you share with the rest of your employees. Who is your buyer persona? Let's give your buyer persona a name. The goal of creating buyer personas is to assist you in promoting and selling products more personally. Giving your buyer personas names gives them a unique identity and makes it personal. Once you've chosen a name for your character, begin recording everything you've learned in your research. How old is your persona? What is their job title? Where do they live? What are their hobbies? What leisure activities do they participate in? What goals do they have for their career? Do they want a promotion? Or are they content where they are? All of these inquiries and any others that come to mind can help give context to your buyer persona's aims and aspirations. The more you know about what they want and why they want it, the better you'll be able to communicate with them in the future. Write a full profile on your buyer persona. The more info you have about your buyer persona, the better. Try to write for 15 to 20 minutes and write down anything and everything you know about your buyer persona. Get creative and have fun with this process. Everyone loves a good story, and the more real that your buyer persona feels to you and your team, the better. You'll be able to more easily tailor your marketing efforts to resonate with your customers in real life. Step number 4. Focus on work and home responsibilities, goals, and problems. Let's take an in-depth look at the story you just created. Take out the most relevant sections for your sales team moving forward. This relevant info should fall into 3 categories: work and home responsibilities, goals, and problems. Work and home responsibilities. Now that you have a complete story of who your buyer persona is and what they want and what they do, you need to select the information that is related to their role at work and their job title. In addition to that, you'll also want to select information that talks about their role outside of work or at home. All of this info paints a picture of what they're really excellent at. Furthermore, it informs your marketing and sales departments about their roles in life. When you understand what roles a person plays in their life and what it is they do, you can more easily create great content that will resonate with them and their specific responsibilities. Goals. The key to a great marketing strategy is knowing exactly what your buyer persona wants. Once you know what they want, you can create content that will really help them reach their goal. It's critical to grasp a buyer persona's objectives in order to provide them personalized and useful assistance. When your staff understands what a persona is attempting to accomplish, even if it isn't directly related to what your business offers, they'll be able to better tailor their tactics and strategies in line with that persona. Problems. This section is perhaps the most important. Here you will figure out exactly what your buyer persona's pain points are. You can help solve your buyer's problems only after you identify exactly what those problems are. Go back to that long story you wrote for your buyer persona. What is stopping them from getting what they want? What makes their lives difficult? Get specific about what problems they are facing. The more challenges you can find, the more chances you have to offer solutions to those problems. And the more problems you can solve for your customers, the more helpful your company is and the more sales you can make. Before I move on to step number 5, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell. That way you'll be the first to see my next money-making video. Also, type the word yes in the comments down below if you are going to start creating your buyer persona today. Step number 5, use your buyer persona to make a digital marketing strategy. Now it's time to create a marketing strategy for those people who are a perfect fit for your company. Create ad campaigns for each persona's favorite platform. Create content that addresses the problems and issues your buyer personas have. Make a point of assessing your existing content to see if it speaks to any of your personas. If not, make the necessary modifications. To connect with buyers on a personal level and in their language, build landing pages that are optimized to appeal to your buyer persona. Create content that your buyer personas would want to read and devise sales and marketing plans that accentuate their unique wants and challenges. When you're writing, marketing, and selling with your most qualified leads in mind, you'll start to notice some significant results. Now that you've got your buyer persona and you're ready to create your marketing strategy, click the video on the screen. Here I'll tell you everything you need to know about social media marketing to help you grow your business and make more money.